guys. Actually, no. If we're gonna do this, we gotta make it authentic. Set the tone. Let people know what this channel encompasses. That is better. Okay. All right. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Hi. I'm bi. Alright, so originally I wasn't gonna make a video, and I know that sounds like every single influencer that like has to talk about a controversial subject or whatever, like I wasn't gonna make this video, but like I genuinely did not feel the need to make this video because I have grown up in an environment where I've been accepted in the sense that like I never felt the need to like officially come out. If I ever came out to anybody, it was just so they can be in the know. If I ever was like, oh, I have a crush on this girl, and they'd be like confused because I didn't clarify. My parents, when I told them, they were very nonchalant about it. Like literally my mom responded with like, oh, my daughter's bisexual, I love it. And then my dad just responded with like, oh, okay. Nothing, like no response, no big like trials and tribulations to face or anything like that. But the main purpose of me making this video is because as far as I know, I'm sure there are some out here that I'm just like missing out on, but I have yet to see any female Black bisexual women as representation in the YouTube community. And I'm not technically a part of the YouTube community in the sense of like my videos are not monetized. Barely anybody watches these videos. If one day some Black bi or lesbian girl were to like come across this channel and see this video, then maybe they would feel like there's someone out there representing them regardless of whatever following I have. There's homophobic people that I've faced before, but I've never personally felt the oppression because it wasn't until college that I made it aware to people that this is my sexuality. The story begins in elementary school. Now, I never had a stark crush on any girls in elementary school, but I remember that was the first time where I would see certain girls and be like, you're really pretty. But like beyond like the complimentary, like, oh, I just think this person's pretty. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little tingly butterflies in my stomach at how pretty this girl is. I pushed that down because I didn't know what sexuality was really at that time. I just knew what the stereotypes that were portrayed on TV for people in the LGBTQ community. I didn't like really know, first of all, that it's a spectrum. That was the first time that I truly like was like, oh, okay, girls are cute. Because I always thought guys were cute. That's always been a thing for me. So I knew I was never fully lesbian. And then I officially had a crush in junior high, and I'm pretty sure she knows who she is. I suppressed it because that junior high wasn't necessarily like homophobic. Oh no, they were probably homophobic, let's be real. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because I'm not gonna protect that junior high because I did not like junior high. I just remember the person obviously didn't like me back or whatever, or else there would be a whole new story to it. So I just kind of like pushed it down because then I was like, maybe that's just my hormones and I don't really know what I'm thinking. Not because I was so scared to be gay or anything like that, but it was just like, I never feel the same level I do when I like guys as when I like girls. Until I feel the same way I do about guys with girls, then I don't think it's legitimate. I don't think I'm like that. I don't want to come at it as anything and then be like, oh, never mind. Because, you know, like that's a big step to take. And there's a lot of people who have got to go through so much shit to be able to have the confidence and the resilience to be able to come out publicly to people. Later in junior high, there was a girl, she came out as bisexual and she was the only person who was openly anything within the LGBTQ plus community at our junior high. And because of that, she kind of got a lot of flack because a lot of them were saying the things that you typically hear when people want to talk shit about bisexuals, where it's just like,
pick a side. You're constantly dating this gender, so you clearly only like this gender. Stop saying you're bi and just choose.
So I give her major props for putting up with those people's bullshit, so shout out her. Junior high was not the time for me to even think about that besides that one little moment where I had a crush on a girl. Once I got to high school, it was a very boy-focused, like crushing phase of my life. During the entirety of those 4 years, I did not have a crush on a single girl. So my thought process was, well, since I don't seem to be crushing on any girls in the 4 years that I've been here, then maybe it was just a phase. Not in the sense of how people condescendingly and homophobically say it, but in the sense of like, oh, my hormones were just like at its peak and like I didn't know what I wanted, or I don't freaking know. Like it was probably some slight homophobic stuff towards myself, but never towards others, because I always was the one to be like, yes girl, you do you be out and proud. For me, my sexuality up until college was TBD, TBH. High school, there was nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. Not a single girl in there where I was just like, oh yeah, my sexuality, I'm aware of it, here it is. I like boys, and in addition to that, I like girls. Once I got to college though, I had like stark, legitimate crushes on 2 girls throughout that year. And the reason I knew that it was like a legitimate crush, and that's how I knew that like I was finally like truly in touch with my sexuality, was the fact that I got the excitement that I get when I have crushes on guys to the same extent with these girls. When I used to have crushes in the past on girls, it was just like, oh, they're really pretty and it'd be cool to like date them or whatever. But then with guys, it's like, oh my god, they're so cute, like I can't stop thinking about them, like oh my god, I hope they like me back, I hope we can date. Delusional means like I hope we get married. I was feeling that way to almost a full extent when it came to these two girls, and I was like, all right, sis is bi. Sis is figuring it out still. Almost positive that the end result is sis is bi. I think I was more in my roots of my sexuality by second semester, the semester I just finished, when I took an intro to sociology course to fulfill the beginning of my sociology minor. We learned about the Kinsey scale, and essentially what the Kinsey scale is that it's this like range from 1 to 6. 1 is you're 100% straight, and then 6 is like 100% like gay, lesbian, etc. And the theory states that people are all over the place. It's very rare that one person is completely at a 6 or one person is completely at a 1. Until I truly felt it for myself and saw it like in sources, that like I realized I'm like, bisexuality is truly a spectrum, and that's why it's understandably frustrating to everyone in the bisexual community when people make it seem illegitimate, because they think that you have to exactly half the time like men and exactly half the time like girls. And my best friend put it best, because she has a friend who is bisexual, and she was saying like the best way he describes his bisexuality is that he's 90% into guys and 10% into girls. And I don't know my percentages yet, because as I'm filming this video, your girl is still figuring out her sexuality. At this current point in time, I can say definitively that I like men and women. With new information about the LGBTQ community, like who knows, I might be pansexual and I don't know yet, but as of current I think I'm bisexual, because I think I just like those two genders that I just listed. But that really helped me realize that like it's all a spectrum, and maybe I can update y'all in the future on what my percentages are, but I don't want to give out a percentage and it be a lie, because it's like I need to experience more legitimate crushes with women in the future. I recognize that like there are millions upon millions of people who do not have that same luxuries. I'm a black woman, and clearly, as I've said today, a bisexual black woman. I am not white privileged level of privilege, but I still have a certain level of privilege in the sense being bisexual has never like had people stop being my friend, family members disowning me. But then again, I haven't come out to like my extended family, so I don't know how they're gonna feel about this when they watch this video. Can't wait for those Facebook messages. I've never had to deal with that, so I think that's why I was so casual about it. And the way that I like came out to most people is whenever I would tell them when I had a romantic interest in a girl, and I'd be like, I have a crush on this girl, da 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 da. They kind of pause and they'd be like, oh, okay, and then just kept going. That pause is them like processing like, does that mean she's bi? Because we also obviously have heard her talk about cute boys. Okay, she's bi. All right, got that information, moving on, continuing to listen to her rant about whatever crush she has on this random girl. But like I said, I want to be representation for any of those little black girls out there who are still figuring out their sexuality and feel like they're not represented to the extent that they would like on YouTube. Something that's also really important to touch on is the fact that black communities have been notorious for being very homophobic. Not all black families, thank God. It's pretty well known within the black community that a lot of black families are very homophobic, and I don't want to bring religion into it, but I'm going to briefly just say that I know that religion typically has a lot to do with it, but I know a lot of black families out there don't use the religion that they practice as a way to be homophobic. Although that is a thing, it is still a very prominent thing within the black community to think of it as ridiculous, which never made sense to me. We're all oppressed, especially in America, baby. People of color in general are oppressed. The LGBTQIA+ are oppressed. So why would you be going after the people who are already a marginalized group, or have some prejudice reservations about people who are already being put through the ringer?
Like, I don't understand that, never felt that, never experienced that.
That's a whole thing within itself, where it was just like, y'all realize the hypocrisy, right? Like,
Sweetie, the hypocrisy jumped out, point blank, period.
I think the best way to put it is the reason why I diminished my sexuality as much as I did over the years is, again, not because I was against anybody within the LGBTQ community, but the fact of the matter being, I'm not 100% sure at this point, and we're still all figuring it out. That goes with everything in life. You're still figuring out a lot of aspects of your life. But I never wanted to make it seem like I was trying to be the end-all, be-all, the one who's trying to give you guys all the information, because I still have a lot to learn. And I've been learning so much this month, actually, when it comes to trailblazers, people of color trailblazers within the community. I think this has been the most formative month of my life for many reasons aside from coming out in this video. In general, I'm just like figuring out a lot of stuff about myself. So basically the purpose of this video is, as I already said, was like hopefully being representation for somebody who can relate to me in any way, shape, or form. But also in the fact that like, I'm not doing this video for anyone. And I know that people who come out don't make these videos for people. I know that at the end of the day, they do it for themselves. They typically do it for themselves in the sense of like, they're like, I'm living my truth. da 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 da. And I am living my truth by making this video, but I'm also making this video in the sense of like, Maya, I think this is like the peak point of you knowing who you are in terms of sexuality. So before you start second guessing yourself, why don't you come out to the world? I promise all of y'all, I would not be putting this video on the internet if I wasn't at the very least like 90% sure that this is who I am. But newsflash, I am 100% sure that this is who I am. Hi, I am Maya Carr, and I am bisexual and proud. So that's all I wanted to say for this video. I am hoping, dreaming, and praying that this video is short, because if it is anything more than 15 minutes,
My computer's gonna go batshit crazy and have a mental breakdown. And I, in return, will have a mental breakdown in response to that mental breakdown.
if you like my channel, feel free to watch my past video. I actually really like my second most recent video. I think it's a good way to see like my personality in like its natural form, and you just get to hear me speak about my random opinions about what's going on in the world today. And feel free to check out my socials, feel free to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications if you so choose. I don't know how often I'm gonna be uploading on this channel. But anyway, I hope you have a nice day, week, month, year, and lifetime. And with that, peace.
Señorita, don't wanna text me back, but I'm okay with that. Señorita, you might have set me back, but girl, I'm still on track. Señorita, you never liked my style, I wasn't worth your while. Señorita, wanted to see you smile, but you was oh so fine. Sit